Everyone, this week I've been driving this 2021 Kia K5. Up until its most recent redesign, the K5 here was known as the Kia Optima. This is Kia's mainstream midsize sedan. This is a GT line all-wheel drive model, so it's pretty middle of the pack. It uses a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it definitely has the look of a sports sedan. So let's do a tour of the K5 here and then take it for a drive. This is definitely an attractive looking mid-size sedan. Like I said, this is a GT line model, which means it has the look of the GT model, but it doesn't come with the bigger engine. Up front here, that's an interesting pattern in the grille. Even the headlights look pretty cool. They've got these 3 lighting elements in them, along with some LED strips. These wheels are 18 inches, and they include a black painted section, and then just a bare aluminum part. This color's fun. It's a milky gray. I believe it's a extra cost option. Costs a couple $100 extra. Around back, it's got a really gradually sloping rear deck here with a pretty short trunk lid. And then it has this lighting strip that runs all the way across the rear trunk. Here's your badging, so it says K5. There's the Kia badge on the back there. One thing to note, Kia is getting a new logo. I'm surprised that the K5 here doesn't yet feature it. And then over here we've got GT line and that all-wheel drive badge. You open the trunk via this button right here. It's power release, but not power operated. Trunk is fairly big and the space is pretty nicely maximized. There aren't a lot of cuts or anything that impede on your trunk space. And you can put the back seats down via these pull tabs right here. And that's really it. Just like the Hyundai Sonata, there's no cutout for pulling down the trunk lid from the inside. There's no grab handle here, so you have to touch the exterior paint. Looks pretty good from this angle. The bulbous rear quarters definitely give it a more aggressive stance. One thing I like about these door panels is they include this little tab here, which acts as an extra place where you can pull the door closed. Here's the window sticker. So this is a 2021 Kia K5 GT line all-wheel drive. That exterior color is called Wolf Gray. As equipped, this one comes in at $31,300. Fuel economy is rated at 26 city, 34 highway, and 29 combined. This one uses a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It makes 180 horsepower, and that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. We'll see this a little bit on the driving portion, but this engine really has to work to make that 180 horsepower. One other thing I should call out here is the warranty. Hyundai and Kia offer an industry-leading warranty of 10 years, 100,000 miles of powertrain coverage, and then 5-year, 60,000 miles of bumper-to-bumper coverage. So just like in all of Kia's new models, the interior here is really nice. The cabin feels pretty upscale. Materials used are pretty good. So this is kind of a harder, soft touch material, if that makes sense. And you've got aluminum strip, some pattern there, and then this one has a red interior, and some of that red makes its way over here to the door panels. Here's the steering wheel. It's got kind of a flat bottom design because, like I said, this is the GT line. No paddle shifters. Gauge cluster isn't fully digital, though there is an information readout here. You've got your mechanical tachometer and speedometer there. Pretty simple. There's a benefit to that. And then here's the infotainment screen. It is Hyundai and Kia's fairly common 10.25-inch design. This is in most Hyundai and Kia products by now. Volume knob is right here. It's a little bit out of the way because on the center console here, there is a dial located perfectly for you to rest your arm on the center console box lid and turn this dial. But unfortunately, it's not the volume knob. It is a driving mode selector. And you can see we've got sport, normal, smart, and then custom and snow modes, because keep in mind this particular K5 has all-wheel drive. So we're gonna go back into normal mode. Overall though, the infotainment system is pretty good. The whole layout here, aside from that kind of awkward reach you have to make to get to the volume knob, of course you can use the volume on the steering wheel, but beyond that, it's a pretty nice layout. This shift lever is certainly kind of a unique design. It's really minimalist. It's kind of just a cylinder on a tall post there. Pretty easy to grip, no nonsense there. HVAC controls, again, pretty intuitive. You've got USB-A. Unfortunately, no USB-C here. That's kind of odd given that this vehicle is pretty much all new. And then a 12-volt outlet here with a nice storage compartment. And then your wireless charging pad is in an interesting place. It's right ahead of the center console box here. The way it works is actually pretty clever. So you've got a slot, you can see, that you stick your phone down into, and then there's your feedback that your phone is charging. It's really nice because it doesn't allow the phone to bounce around, and it means you're not going to miss your mark if you're just casually placing your phone on that pad. That's the case with a lot of vehicles that have wireless charging pads. You have to align the phone perfectly on top of the pad to get it to actually charge. In this case, though, you can pretty much just jam it in there, and you can bet it's going to be charging. Center console box is pretty basic, not super deep, kind of shallow. Heated seat controls are right here. You've got a heated steering wheel and then that drive mode button. You've got an auto hold feature with the electronic parking brake there. And yeah, that's it. Up top, you've got a pretty nice sized panoramic sunroof. Like I said, cabin in most modern Kia products is pretty nice. And that's definitely the case here for the new K5. Let's check out the second row. So not a whole lot to show off back here. I'm sitting behind myself. I'm about 5'11", and I have plenty of knee room, pretty much a whole hand's worth. This is kind of a weird design choice to have this crinkled material making up your seat back pockets there. I'd like to see something a little bit flatter. Feels kind of unbecoming of the otherwise upscale approach to the new K5. You do get those pockets on both seat backs, although yeah, I'd rather they just not be there at all because they're pretty ugly. Anyway, 2 more USB-A ports on the back of the center console. No air vents. Here you've got a fold-down center armrest with 2 cup holders, and then that rather large panoramic sunroof extends pretty far over the rear seat quarters here. There are grab handles overhead and a light, and you've got, oh, the back windows aren't one touch up and down. That's really disappointing. I'm really surprised. Anyway, though, that's the back seat. Okay, the new Kia K5. So I said at the beginning of the video that this thing looks like a sports sedan. The interior is pretty nice. It has design like a sports sedan, just like the exterior. But you get behind the wheel and you realize it's pretty much a mainstream mid-size sedan with all-wheel drive. There's 50 miles per hour, so it's not exactly fast, but most vehicles in this segment with their base engines aren't too fast. 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder makes 180 horsepower. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic. Nothing too special there. Although I will say 1.6 liters is pretty small, even for a turbocharged 4-cylinder. And I think that's why this engine really has to work under hard acceleration. You just feel it revving a lot and making a fair amount of noise anytime you really put the pedal down. It's not too bad. I think most people would be able to ignore it, but it is something I've noticed about this 1.6 liter. I noticed it in the new Hyundai Sonata, and I'm noticing it again in the K5 here. That said, the optional engine in this vehicle is a turbocharged 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that makes 290 horsepower. That's only available in the K5 GT. All the sounds in the touch points are pretty nice. Here's our speed bump here. First one, we're going to hit at about 23. Felt okay. Second one, I was at about 15 miles per hour. We've got a student driver in front of us. We're gonna let the student driver get a little further ahead. Okay, that was at about 23 miles per hour. It was fine, maybe slightly below par in terms of bumpiness. The handling is fine. Driving experience is fine. not a whole lot to note. Honestly, the backup camera is pretty washed out. I am backing up right into the sun. Resolution's okay. It's probably better than many backup cameras on the market. Definitely above average. So there's your look at the new Kia K5. Like I said, this is Kia's new midsize sedan. Used to be the Optima. They renamed it K5. That's what it's referred to as in the rest of the world. Overall, this is a pretty strong effort in the mainstream midsize sedan space. You're seeing companies trying to differentiate these vehicles by adding things like all-wheel drive, by adding sportier styling. And the K5 here has been the recipient of both of those with its most recent redesign. Other vehicles in this segment that offer all-wheel drive, you've got the Toyota Camry, obviously the Subaru Legacy, the Nissan Altima now offers it. I imagine that as competitors are redesigned, they will add all-wheel drive as an option as well. As far as the K5 goes though, if you like the styling, if you appreciate a nice interior, I think you'll appreciate the K5. This one, as equipped, is just $31,000, so it's a pretty good value. And yeah, overall, it's another strong offering here in the mid-size sedan space. We're seeing these vehicles become sportier and gain more upscale styling, but I've always kind of questioned that whole thing. Is it that these cars are getting more luxurious, or is time just marching on and our standards for interiors are getting higher and higher and higher? But either way, that's the K5. It's been a pleasant experience. Thanks for watching.